Hey, it's Matt along with Big Goo, and today I'm going to talk about the top 5 units I'm looking for in the next 3 months, basically from November to what I think is going to be January. So stay tuned and see what's upcoming that I think is exciting. Alright, let's start with number 5. Number 5 is actually currently out here is Dimension Dragon. Uh, what I like about him is both as a leader and also about his First Awakening, which also increases the power and effective breath for him, along with his ability to basically teleport as he moves. So uh, people might not know, in case that you haven't looked. I think he's very, very good overall, but kind of depending on your overall team situation, it has 3 movement, uh, even with zero awakenings. Along with that, we can see that all in all, he has actually an awful lot of power. But in order to use him, he needs to be with a team of dragons, which can be to his downfall. But if you have your Great Dragon and your Halberd Source fully leveled up, that is a pretty devastating team to go along with the Dimension Dragon, along with his ability to have 2 skills. Two elements, and Dimensional Wave, which is actually, if you have him at 1 heart with him as leader, can do an excessive amount of damage that can wipe out a unit that is weak to bang. So, all in all, it is a unit that can move through barriers as long as its space is 3 and it doesn't land on a barrier. Because it is a teleporter, and with that ability, you can do a lot of unique things. So all in all, I do have Dimensional Dragon rated 5th, and this one might actually be ones where people go, not so much. But all in all, I personally think Dimensional Dragon is a very useful unit, but you need to have the dragons to really use it to the fullest, but still is a niche unit overall. So let's go to 4. And this is Demon Warrior Vera, who will be actually upcoming very, very soon in Global. Leadership effect increases physical power by 10%, is very low, but is very, very useful to a lot of units. So it has a decent leadership effect. But Demon Warrior Vera has the main skills where basically after a couple of turns can delete units as long as she can attack. She has great range along with the ability to occasionally increase physical power when attacking, and she can increase her own physical power too with her own benefit or her own internal unit. Her abilities here, Kagui, Engage Shot, and Beast King, are all non-elemental, which are both positive and negative. But the Beast King, with does incredibly large physical damage to all enemies, is got a nice fan shape, and since her other skills are range 3, she can usually attack first turn and build up her attack for the second, and in arena if you have to get to the third turn, depending on the unit overall. But her second turn, she can lay out an awful lot of damage with her high agility, and overall makes her incredibly, incredibly powerful unit. Also, she is a beast, which is important because Mattingly, her best use is almost required with another unit on this list, Marquis de Leon, who will really buff up her power with his leadership effect and his First Awakening skill on top of it. But overall, Demon Warrior Vera is a very useful unit. Has been passed up a little bit now in JP, but if the blooming is good enough, she will go right back up top again as well. So let's go with the Consolation Units first. Santa Cristalinda is a very good ice damage Basically, her main is going to be focusing on Frozen Ice Sword. Uh, Still waiting for a Talon Bloom on her as well. Hopefully, she will get something that's maybe damage wise Frozen Ice Sword, but got a little bit more range or AoE to it. But all in all, Santa Crystalina is a pretty good unit, even though she is quote unquote delayed compared to what Japan saw. She is a better ice unit than Zoma, but I wouldn't say is a must-have if you do or don't have or if you do have Zoma. But if you don't have Zoma, that Frozen Ice Sword is going to be something that you're going to use a lot of. The present for you is a pretty good damage as well, but with the Dragon Lord, and I wouldn't say is needed unless if you don't have Dragon Lord. If you don't have Dragon Lord, don't have Zoma, then Santa Crystalina is going to be a top end unit for you for the Christmas event, which will probably happen in the December timeframe. The other one is the Golden Slime. This is actually a hard unit to place in these, and this is why I put it in the Consolation. It's kind of more for my own sanity, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time with the Golden Slime than I do with some of the other units. The leadership effect is a little too specific. You're really not going to use Slime spell power, so that's not where you're going to go. But Golden Slime, along with Forest Dragon, which is just out, these are the two units that basically turn into absolute iron walls. The Golden Slime has all attribute resistance 50, and this is 5%, so it's up to 60% if you get it up to 4 dupes. And along with that has the ability to do damage barrier. It's not nearly as strong as the Forest Dragon because it's only one unit, and it's only 15% instead of 20. But base it along with itself, and you're looking at almost no damage taken by the Golden Slime. Basically, the only thing you can really do is try charming it, which we don't have right now. And it is also an incredible healer. Seraphie is a better healer because of her innate skill to heal. But Golden Slime has a lot of overall abilities along with recovering MP each turn, getting that First Awakening skill, which allows it to do what it needs to do for quite a long time. And along with it, it will remove some abnormal conditions as well with the heal. It's just that it does tend to slurp up its MP very, very quickly, and its attack is incredible damage. But once again, if you're going for a very long battle, you are worried about its MP consumption, which is its big negative. Otherwise, I would state that it is a very good unit, the second best healer that we have, and it's a must if you don't have Seraphie. Emperor Slime is just not good enough right now. Golden Slime lasts much longer than Emperor Slime, does a better job overall than Emperor Slime, and I'm not including Kirill. Kirill is just poor, unfortunately. I like Kirill, but as a unit in DQT, it's just not even worth mentioning in a power quote. Golden Slime is the second best healer behind Seraphie, and I will say for PvE, especially if you don't have Seraphie, you really need to have Golden Slime. But if you do have Seraphie, I'm not sure how often you will be using Golden Slime, other than, for very specific niche areas, and so it's going to be one that I'm not going to be pulling very hard for, but I would like to have. Alright, back on to number 3, Terry. And in Dragon Quest 7, it is a rough banner, and when I mean it's a rough banner because all of the units for S are very high class. And I'm actually not even going to put one on there because probably can't afford to do all three. I know I'm not going to be able to do that. And therefore, it's kind of choosing on what units you should and shouldn't have. And Terry's just really, really incredible for me. Abigail, she just misses out on this list more because her banner's just so busted overall, and it is very, very powerful units. And when this comes out, this is going to be an area where if you need to if you wanted to restart or make a new game or invite additional people, having them summon on these banners are going to enable them to have a very powerful account very, very quickly and will allow people to stay in there. Terry is a zap damage unit. His first skill is to movement +1, which is obviously important. Has very, very large damage. And Miracle Moon surrounds himself. It is a very, very powerful damage that actually give 20% of all damage back as HP. So he can actually survive a lot longer than you normally would think. Thunder Slash is a normal, just 3 range, and Thunder God gives is an Elena type where he can move up 4 squares after the attack throughout. The main thing is you want him to get in the action without getting killed, so he does need a little bit of planning. But with that Miracle Moon, if you get him close to death and then using Miracle Moon, he can pretty much come back all the way up to full health by himself, and using that with very large damage as well. His leadership effect, increasing hero physical power by 20%, is a pretty good leadership as well. So all in all, very, very top end unit, but he is not the best unit on his banner. 2 is going to be Marquis de Leon. This beast is an absolute beast. His leadership effect increases beast physical power by 20%. You're actually going to be using more for just Marquis de Leon, and also if you Vera, Purgus. Both of them are very, very good units that become great units under Marquis de Leon. His awakening skill turns 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, increased beast physical strength plus skill 3 in a diamond around him. So as long as he's near other units and with his speed, he can kind of push up and then other units fall behind. They give very large increases in damage skill. Also has a martial damage, which you're going to level up. If you have Marquis de Leon, you're going to level him up. He is just incredibly powerful, still highly, highly top tier in JP. His Beast King Claw, which is a zap, does 4 times and can lower defense. And the last one, Beast King Roar, is a very heavy physical damage to all enemies and lowers defense. That Beast King Roar does an incredible amount of damage, especially if you get him to lower defense. Plus all the abilities that he has to increase onto himself. With his leadership effect on top of it, they all add up to an insane amount of damage. And so all in all, it's going to be something that is just absolute top tier. The last one, though, is Nocturnus. This was the most absolutely busted character. JP has now started to release characters that can finally counter him in Arena, but it took them around 6 months or 5 months to do so. Nocturnus leadership effect is just absolutely brutal, especially if you have a Stark. Increases their physical power by 25%. There will be a few others as well that have physical power that will be coming up through the ranks that lean on Nocturnus' leadership effect. Sorrow also enjoys as well, but he's starting to be able to be one-shot by a lot of units. All in all, Nocturnus is the person that if you can only save up for one unit, that's the unit you want to save for. His awakening skill, odd number turns, so from 1 through 9. will increase attack, defense, agility, and skill, which is the power, so both attack and overall power for 3 turns. So on turn 3 has 2 of these buffs all the way up until 9, and then it will last until turn 12. Absolutely incredible damage. Genie skill lowers defense. It has 5 damage randomly, 75 in a large range. Grand Cross has a very powerful whoosh physical damage, and Jet Sword has Sam physical damage. Also, if you get him to 3rd and 5, the third one is physical damage in general 5%. So it's not just Genie skill, but all of his damage skills and his normal damage. And physical concentration, which means even more on top of it if you get him to 5. They made him busted, and as I say, it took them a very long time for the units to catch up to Nocturnus' power. This is basically Istark level back when Istark came out. Istark is now starting to become. It's still in the top 2 at worst, and will drop off just a little bit once we get the Beast Fest, which was coming up. But Nocturnus is the clear number 1 until basically the last banner or 2 in JP. So there is a very long time before Nocturnus will start becoming even challenged, especially in Arena. So this is definitely an incredible top there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Just kind of a quick overview what I expect in the next 3 months, the units that I'm most looking forward to. And there are other good units as well, but I believe these are by far the top units in the series, or at least in the banners, especially when I tried to include each month as well. January, I do expect 6 coming out. This is going to be probably the big spend, and people are going to save and go for this unit. So I do hope everybody gets lucky with the units that they're looking for, and I hope that these looks into the future help you plan out what you need to save for and why, and roughly when. Obviously, they've been changing around compared to JP, so we don't always have perfect 2020 vision, but at least we know what the units are coming out and when they roughly should be. So have a good day, and we will see you guys later. Bye, everyone.